Welcome to Celebrity Encounters Podcast. I'm Alan.
And I'm Harlan.
And we're here today with our good friend, all the way from sunny California, Eric.
Eric is in the house. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Okay.
What? Too much energy? It's the end of the year, for God's sake.
Yeah, that's right. We're doing this toward the end
That's
of the year.
That's how dedicated this man is he blew off his family to come record a new episode with all of you watching. So you're welcome. And thank you, Alan.
My pleasure, because the kids like to watch Celebrity Encounters Podcast too. So.
Oh, and it's for kids. I did not know that.
Absolutely. And my daughter and my son and my son-in-law and my daughter-in-law, they've all watched it.
Also a veteran of Hollywood with us today. Eric, you've had a celebrity encounter. Drop a name on us.
All right. Well, one of my favorites of all time, I've had a lot of them because I work in the industry and TV. Mike Meyers from Saturday Night Live. When he was on Saturday Night Live and he was just starting to get big with Wayne's World and you know, he was a pretty big deal at the time where I'm a TV producer, and my specialty in broadcast journalism is investigative journalism. So I was doing a story for KCAL, and this is Hollywood personified. I think it's Hamburger Hamlet or Hamlet. I forget which one. There's so many different ones. But the famous one on Hollywood Boulevard.
Hamburger Hamlet.
I always remember Hamburger Hamlet.
And hold on one second, because I want to talk about this, because like where you're probably heading with this, Hamburger Hamlet was one of those restaurants that was considered a safe zone for celebrities to come in and hang out and have a meal and not be harassed by paparazzi like they have today. Although I do love the paparazzi. Please take my picture, please. But it was in, if I remember correctly, there were 2 or 3 different locations for them.
This was the famous one on Hollywood Boulevard. I always remembered that because when they set up a thing that I was doing in my work to get this scam artist to come show up, and I'd have a burger with him and talk to him, he didn't know that a camera would be shooting our, you know, he sort of came out of the dark in this con man. And so I had a hamburger and had dinner with him and talked to him. He didn't know we were shooting the whole thing from the outside, because he was sort of hiding out and wasn't a fugitive, but he was definitely wanted by a few people. And so I did my thing, you know, interviewing him in Hamburger Hamlet, where it was just not with a camera, nothing. He didn't know what was going on. But when I was all done, finished my dinner, and he got up and left and blah, 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 and I got everything I needed for my story. I go walking up. My camera was outside the door, you know, going through a window on the sidewalk somewhere. And I go to walk out the door, and I always remember, this is hilarious. Car pulls up. I'm basically about to walk out the door, but I'm still in the restaurant. Car pulls up. Guy gets out, and it's just maybe his wife or kid or somebody was driving. And the guy gets out, and he walks in, opens the door, walks in, and I'm halfway almost out the door, and he's coming in. And it's Mike Meyers.
Oh.
And so my cameraman, so I'm like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. And just say hello.
Hold on, Eric, hold on one second. Let's set the time. Roughly what year is this, if you had to guess?
This is the mid-'90s, okay. Like 93. Oh, sorry. Mid-'90s, after 95, so mid-'90s, probably like 96, 97.
Okay. And with KCAL, what were you doing with them?
I was an investigative producer.
Okay.
And so I was, you know, most of my stuff was fairly serious. I didn't do, you know, it's all serious stuff.
Right.
So I'm doing this serious piece of journalism, and I'm at Hamburger Hamlet, and I'm all done doing what I'm doing with an undercover interview with this bad guy, and I'm all done, and he's like, my cameraman's out on the sidewalk, so when I go to walk out of the restaurant, right as I'm walking out, Mike Meyers gets out of a car on the curb and walks in. And you know, I knew who he was, and like I said, I'm a failed comedy writer, so I was like, "Wow, it's Mike Meyers," you know, Wayne's World. I'm like, "Hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you." And he says, "Hey, he's kind of a shy guy. I've seen stuff about it." He goes, "Hey, nice to meet you." And my cameraman, who's on the sidewalk outside the restaurant, walks up to me, you know, at the door of the entrance of the restaurant, and Mike sees the camera, and he's kind of like, what the hell? What's going on? He's like, comes all sheepish. And I have to stand there and I'm talking to him. Oh, no. The camera's, you know, we're not here for you. I'm I'm the investigative producer at Hangout, and I just did this interview with this guy undercover. I was just, finishing my dinner and walking out, and he's just coming to pick up his burger. It was the to-go order. I remember that because, people there knew who he was, and he's like, "Oh, here's your order, Mr. Meyers," blah, blah, blah. And he's standing there. I'm telling him this whole story. He's like, no, I'm not here to stick a camera in your face, or I'm not paparazzi. TMZ didn't exist, but I'm not paparazzi. I'm just a local TV investigative producer at Channel 9. He lived in LA, so he knew what that was. And he sort of half believed me, which was the funny part. It's kind of like, wow, that's an amazing story. I think you're BSing me. And I'm like, no, really. I don't, it's just nice to meet you. Followed me, had a little chat, and then he kind of sheepishly kept looking at me like, I think this guy's lying through his teeth. Like, he just tracked me down. He's some paparazzi guy or something. But until he left.
Or wait, I have a theory. Hold on a second here, Eric. You were meeting a bad guy, and coincidentally, Mike Meyers shows up at the same time. What was your bad guy connected to? Do you remember?
Oh yeah, I do. It was I love this one. It was a guy who was renting out houses that he didn't own, and they were in foreclosure. So basically, this is some people. I thought the guy was one of the best crooks I ever met because he was really smart and made a lot of money. He just had to worry about people coming after him or finding him and rubbing him out when they got pissed off and he ripped them off. So he would rent out houses he didn't own. He'd get the foreclosure listings and put an ad in the paper. Break the door, put a lock on it, and then rent it out to him. You found out three months later it was up for a foreclosure auction because they stick a notice on the house and say anybody in this house, if you're a squatter or anybody else, you better be out of here. And in 3 weeks, 2 weeks, whatever it was, he would rent them out, take all your money, rip you off, and then you would tell the cops, "Hey, my landlord's Joe Schmo," and they would just go, "Oh, it's a civil matter. Take him to court." He got to live there, but it wasn't his house. It's like renting out your car on the weekends when you're not home and putting it back on Monday.
So I'm speculating now even more so because Mike Meyers probably lived in New York at the time because it was at his peak performance with Saturday Night Live. So he was probably renting a house in Los Angeles.
Are you a conspiracy theory?
I love a good conspiracy theory. We got an investigative reporter here, and is it coincidence that the bad guy who rents out houses is in the same proximity? So maybe Mike Meyers wasn't like not trusting you, but maybe he recognized the bad guy and didn't want to get pulled into the story.
That's a good conspiracy theory. But what it was, my cameraman, which that time was big beta cams, and you can't miss them. It wasn't like you're walking around with a little digital camera or something.
Sure.
These are big, big cameras on your shoulder, TV cameraman. He was just like, what the hell are these guys doing here? It's like, well, why are they at the Hamburger Hamlet when I'm picking up my order? It was kind of like, if I was him, I would have been like, I'm not buying this guy's story. This guy's full of what. And I had to convince him. He was sort of half convinced by the time he left. He's like, okay, bye. I'm getting the hell out of here.
Okay, wait, I have a new conspiracy theory.
No. I think he was a little verklempt. Linda Richmond.
Yeah. That's a good rollback. I like that. That's good. I'm sorry, I got to go down this rabbit hole because I love a good conspiracy. A investigative reporter is there. Mike Meyers recognizes you and is pondering, is he investigating me for getting free food from Hamburger Hamlet? That would be breaking news.
No, I'm going to burst your because I remember seeing him pay for it with a credit card.
Oh, darn it, Eric.
Just sunk your theory.
You walk in, you get out of your car, you walk in, and you go, my order is long before the days of Uber Eats and all that stuff. You got to walk in, pay for it, walk out with your food, right? And he literally was, would have been there for 2 minutes if he hadn't run into me. And he's just like, he was just shocked, like, why the hell is this camera there? And who's this guy? This is all BS story. And I'm like, no, it's not. How else would I be here? I don't bring cameras to Hamburger Hamlet just for the hell of it to find celebrities that come to Hamburger Hamlet randomly. It was very funny because he was still kind of like, I don't know, I gotta get the hell out of here.
He's from Second City.
Yep.
which I had a very good relationship in Chicago because I would have them on my radio show once a month.
Oh, cool.
And he also voiced Shrek. He still does.
Still does.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he's funny. He's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy.
When they had the 50th reunion of Second City, he was there for the reunion. And if you ever go to Second City in Chicago, the main stage, they have a big mural outside with all the comedians that have gone through Second City. And it's a who's who of comedy, especially Saturday Night Live, because once a year, Lorne Michaels goes down to Second City and he plucks the best people from Second City to be on Saturday Night Live.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah.
My favorite story was I didn't know this till a while back where I saw something where him and Dana Carvey, Mike Meyers and Dana Carvey are world famous for Wayne's World, right?
Yeah.
And but Dr. Evil from later, which came much later, Austin Powers, is the executive producer of Saturday Night Live, Lorne Michaels. That is him. It's like made into that character, the way he talks and everything else. And supposedly Mike, and I saw this in an interview with Dana Carvey, Mike Myers stole that imitation of the executive producer Lorne Michaels from Dana Carvey. So they had this falling out for a while, and they probably kissed and made up. But that was Dana Carvey's imitation of how he talked with that $1 billion. And,
That's hilarious.
Yeah, pretty funny. But no, he was a cool guy. He was very nice. He was just very shy and sheepish, but he's just like, okay, I gotta go now. Bye.
That's amazing. And like you have your connection to him, John Domenico here in Las Vegas. Amongst many, he does Trump imitations and phenomenal, but he also does Austin Powers.
Oh.
And like when he goes in full costume and you would never know the difference. Like John has his personality down perfectly. And so now an investigative reporter tells me that that's based on Lorne Michaels. Is now I got to ask John, like, can you corroborate that? And then, he's in it being carried out. Yeah, baby. Or something like that.
Yeah,
So,
no, Dr. Evil. He's Dr. That's Lorne Michaels is Dr. Evil. And that's how Lorne Michaels talks and his cadence and how he's just sort of name dropping all the time with celebrities, and his whole persona is they just turned him into Dr. Evil because that was the exaggeration of Lorne Michaels.
oh my God.
Well, in the late 90s, I was in New York for business, and I went over to 30 Rock, and I decided I was going to take the tour of the NBC studios. And at that time, they had just finished working on the set of Saturday Night Live, and they took us on to the set. So I actually got to see the set, and it's so much smaller.
So much smaller.
It's tiny considering what they do and how they roll stuff out and put it in front of the big opening set. And I was amazed to find out that Saturday Night Live, the company that does all the sets, is a couple blocks from where they are.
Okay.
And they get, I guess it's 4 days, they get the script with the sets they have to build. They build them in 4 days, and they cart them over there and put it up for the dress rehearsal. That's the first time they get it. And they have 4 days to build it. And it's amazing to watch what they've done, how they've built it. And they showed us photos of how they put the sets together and then put them in a truck and
they
bring
still
them
do
over.
the show live, so that
Right.
stuff has to come out.
Still the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing to see the clockwork on how that works for them every week.
So, even if Lorne Michaels is, Dr. Evil, that hands down is the best written show. 50 years now it's been going on.
51 now.
Right.
Well, yeah.
His old, Dr. Evil's famous thing where he says, right. That comes directly from Lorne Michaels, from those guys. I've seen him talk about it before. where when you're talking, if he's talking to somebody, whatever they say, he's like, right.
It's interesting to dig into the past of other celebrities and how they got what they use, their material, because it's always coming from somebody.
Oh, yeah. The inspiration comes from everywhere, for sure.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we need to do an episode on celebrity encounter food encounters.
Yes.
And this will be our first one because, you know.
Yeah, you can do one on mixed up orders with celebrities.
There you go.
Like, wait, you got my order? Oh, sorry, Mr. Some celebrity.
So if you were there at home watching this, had an encounter with a celebrity eating food, we want to hear from you. Email us at celebrityencounterspodcast@gmail.com. And who knows, your food story could be on our podcast.
Or even if you ate somebody's order, if you ate Mike Meyers' order. At the end, you look, you go, oh, this isn't mine. This was Mike Meyers.
There you go. So. Well, I'm going to go have one of those today and just lie about it, frankly. They're here in Vegas. You never know who you're going to bump into.
That's right. That's right.
This may be a little bit sidebar again, but, the famous joke, I was a big fan of Lorne Michaels. I saw him live about a year before he passed away in Vegas at the Orleans Hotel. He was still hilarious, but he probably tells what I think is the funniest jokes ever, where back in the old days when he was coming up and he was Frank Sinatra's buddy, he always talked about that in his comedy, but he does the best joke. He's in a restaurant eating dinner with his date, some good-looking woman. He's trying to get to third base with her, and he says, so he goes over to the table, and there's Frank Sinatra sitting over there. He says, okay, hold on, honey, I'll be right back. He wants to impress her by making sure he knows Frank Sinatra is a huge star, right? So he walks over to Frank's table and says, Frank, I'm over there with this beautiful blonde, blah, blah, blah. Can you do me a favor? Come over to the table and say hello, and then she'll know I know you, and that'll give me a lot of brownie points. I might get some action tonight, right? So he says, okay. So he goes and sits down, and Frank Sinatra walks over and says, hey, Don, how you doing? Nice to see you here. How's it going? Who's the lovely lady you're with? And Rickles says, Frank, can't you see I'm eating here? Hit the road. which, if you think about it, that means he does know Frank Sinatra, right? He's like, why are you bothering me? I'm having a nice dinner with my beautiful date here. Get out of here.
That's funny. That's funny.
That's awesome.
That's a Rickles joke.
Well, see, you could have used the Rickles joke on Mike Meyers if you had thought of it.
Yeah. He ran away quick. He wasn't sure about the whole thing. He just saw a camera. And he just went, why the hell is the camera? I'm just picking up a hamburger for dinner. No idea how this is happening, but I'm getting the hell out of here quick.
There's a hidden mic in the bag with his hamburger.
Yeah.
That's right. Breaking news, Mike Meyers eats meat. Okay.
These days, that would have been on TMZ. If it had any footage, there might have been some footage. My camera was a good one. He's never stopped shooting. That would have been on TMZ in 10 minutes, probably. Mike Meyers getting, 2 cheeseburgers at Hamburger Hamlet.
That's right. What kind of cheese was on that? Let's speculate today.
Yeah.
I say Munster.
Well, you never know. He may like American because he is Canadian, right?
Yeah.
He's a Canadian. He probably went for the straight cheeseburger.
Yep.
Eh?
Exactly.
Straight cheeseburger, eh?
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Eric, for participating with us and sharing this awesome encounter of Mike Meyers eating food and being uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable.
You always have great stories, Eric. Thank you very much, and thanks for joining us today. I'm Alan.
I'm Harlan.
And we'll see you next time on Celebrity Encounters Podcast.
Boop, boop. Thanks for tuning in today, and if you enjoyed our show, please subscribe, rate, and review our podcast on all your favorite platforms. We'll see you next week with the next episode of Celebrity Encounter Podcast.